17th. This is a budget workshop meeting today. It's 9:02 a.m. We'll call our meeting to order. We do have a quorum present today. With us, Precinct 1's Commissioner Hatfield, Precinct 2, Commissioner Timmons, Sims presiding, Precinct 3 is Commissioner Coos, Precinct 4 is Commissioner DeBar. First on our list this morning is our Juvenile Detention Office, Ms. Whitehurst. Thank you for making some time for us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning.
What number is this?
Number 7.
7.
Okay, that's this right here. Here we go.
I'm Melanie Whitehurst. I'm the, can I move this because I talk about it? I'm the director of juvenile. The good news is from a business aspect, the way that we're running probation now, it's going to turn into some generated funds from the state. The funding formula for TJJD actually goes off of our supervisions. Our supervisions have changed in a way that it's going to allocate more funding for us, but due to this being a legislative year, I'm a little convolved. Now, Becky did tell me that my numbers came back on the salary adjustment yesterday in Flex. I was busy doing other things, so can you give me that number? It was more than we thought, so that's a great thing.
You're talking about the
$210,698.
$210,000, and what is that number? That's money's coming back from the state to pay for salaries?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And that was the number that I was waiting from the state. We're allocated 680, I put everything in here. It'd probably be better if we just go off of the stuff that I prepared, but we're getting $654,285 from the state, in addition to the $200,000 for the salaries.
Okay.
So this is, the 210 is salary reimbursement?
Yes, sir. So if you don't mind, we'll just go off of the sheet, because that just makes me a little bit more settled. There needs to be a line item created on the county side for residential only. And the reason that this is the way that we're running probation now, we're working all of the progressive sanction steps. So we're gonna take it from, even if we have a 10-year-old that needs prevention and intervention services, we're gonna provide those at the department. And then if they get in trouble again, we'll do deferred. If they get in trouble again, we'll do probation. If they get in trouble again, we'll do ISP. If they get in trouble again, then we'll look at placement. As long as we're working those steps, the state's gonna reimburse us for any placement.
What is ISP?
Intensive supervision probation. If we work those steps, the state's gonna give us money back to place kids. That should never fall back on the county unless it's gonna be a egregious offense, like a sexual assault or something that the kid cannot stay home. So we're actually working those steps now. And I've had TJJD to the office twice already. And everything's moving in the right direction. So we're doing everything that we can to generate more money and more revenue for Harrison County.
We haven't been working those steps in the past?
No, sir.
Okay.
And also, I think the commissioners need to know that TJJD comes out to do inspections, but you actually invited them to come to say, hey, look, let's go through what we're doing, help us do it the right way. And
Absolutely.
that's why they've been here. They've
Absolutely.
not been here on their own. They've been here because you've asked them.
That's true. Yes, sir.
So you're re-instrumenting the steps in order for the county to recapture more of the process from the state than what we have in the past, basically.
Yes, sir.
That's why your steps are changing.
And it's irritating some, but a lot of people understand that this is just the way it has to be done for us to say that we're doing what we can to generate more revenue. I know that y'all look at it from the business end, and the business end, it's looking good for us.
Well, I'm all about it. We appreciate you, doing whatever it is that we I'm all about recapturing as much back to the state as we can. And
Yes.
If it's just a change in the process or reestablishing a
Yes.
set deal, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a line item established for programs, and the reason that is that we're mandated by the state to provide programs. It doesn't look like that we're providing those programs right now, but that way that they can go into, especially on my state side, and they can see that we're offering counseling and we're working those steps, and that's obviously what they're gonna go off of whenever they reimburse us. Let me back up and tell you that I need money in that account for residential, only because it's an accounting nightmare for Becky. If you, the qualifications per the state contract is that you have that line item, and that line item is what you have to pay for the cost of the placement, but you get reimbursed. So when that line item, whatever comes out of it, it has to go back into it, if that makes sense. The programs on the second one, we weren't providing community service. We are providing community service. If y'all want to come by the building today, you'll see me with a pressure washer and my hair in a ponytail. I'm a working chief. My assistant is a working assistant. My facility administrator is a working facility administrator. I don't sit in my office all day. We run kids. That's what we do. For that reason, I'm going to need just a little bit more money in the community service end of it, just to pay for projects. And I have nowhere for these kids to sit at community service, so I'd like to buy 2 picnic benches for outside to serve as not only the break area, but that would also serve for them to sit while they drink their water when we take breaks. They're dragging mud into my building. Due to the new laws that parents aren't responsible for UAs, parents aren't responsible for probation fines, fees, parents are only responsible for restitution. Yeah,
Parents are responsible for UAs.
urine analysis, I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Parents are only responsible for attorney fees and restitution. That's the only things that we can ask for them to pay for now. Electronic monitoring is $7.50 a day, and that's a heck of a lot cheaper than us putting them in detention all the time. So from a business end of it, if I can make I think we're at 175 a day. If I can make that off of a contract county and put an electronic monitor on one of our kids that really doesn't need to be in detention, that's what I'm gonna do every time. The state of Texas is in a detention crisis, and with that detention crisis, it's an opportunity for us to generate money off of contract counties. The good thing is that because we've done so many improvements, the other counties are seeing that and they're asking for more contracts. So I think we're in a good position right now.
So if you can put an ankle monitor on a local
Yes.
child or whatever, send him home, basically, then that'll freeze up the bed for you to rent to a joining county at $175 a day.
Yes, sir. And I'm not saying we're ever gonna make money off of it,
Well,
but
but
if we
would,
can be
yeah.
self-sustaining, that's kind of the whole process that I'm looking at it. So if I have a kid, this happened last week, if I have a 13-year-old that committed a theft, it's my opinion, and you may disagree with me, and that's okay, but it's my opinion that there is no threat to the community off of that theft. Therefore, if I can bring him in and I can put an electronic monitor on that kid, but Parker County calls and says, hey, I've got an aggravated sexual assault, do you have a bed? I'm gonna take that aggravated sexual assault because that's their job, is to protect the community, as is mine. I don't see where a theft is a threat compared to an aggravated sexual assault. That's where my mindset is, and then it generates money for our detention center. So if I put that monitor on that theft, take that contract kid is gonna sit with me for probably over 45 to 60 days. So, it just makes better business sense on the whole spectrum of everything. I also want y'all to know that there was runaways that was being taken into the center. I've changed that. We don't take runaways. We can't take runaways. It's actually against the law. So unless a kid is out of state or out of county and a parent cannot be located, I only have 24 hours to hold that child. So that's all changed. And a lot of people are not happy with that process, but that's the law. I'm following the law.
What are you doing as an incentive for a kid not wanna come back to detention?
I added lighting. They can't sleep at night. Our facility, we're supposed to be doing perimeter checks around the facility. The facility was so dark that couldn't be done and it be safe for my staff. So we had a board meeting and I got the blessing of the juvenile board to go ahead and add the lights, and it's going to be a little bit of a monthly cost. But with that, we're doing everything that we are compliant with what TJJD says. So I had a kid kind of crash out on me 2 weeks ago, and he got kicked out of the center. He was a contract kid, but his reasoning was that everything's changed, it's more strict, and he doesn't like it there anymore. That's my job.
That's what we want.
That's
Yes.
right.
So we're on a roll. We're doing well.
Great.
Of course, the picnic benches for community service and inventory of lakes. I hired a friend of mine's sister who is an RN. I couldn't justify coming up to here and asking y'all for more money after you just gave me $1.5 million to do a build. So we're taking this year to kind of see how she likes it. But what we're gonna do is we are going to pay her to be our medical person. So she's gonna train my staff in August. That training did not happen. She's getting all of the training up so they can actually do the medical screenings. And she'll also come back to the center to do the 30-day assessments that are required by law. We will be compliant in that area also. And this is the cheapest option that I could find. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, this is the plan for our medical. I did reach out to B&D. They didn't feel comfortable with the contract. I absolutely understand it, and I don't want to put anybody at risk when it comes to how they feel, especially when they have a medical license. So here are kind of more of the changes. We discussed this at the board meeting. Everything is an existing line item, so I'm not asking for more money. I just feel like that because you are elected officials, you deserve to know kind of what's going on because you're funding my projects. The piping system is a system that we have that's a little blue wand, and you go by the doors and you can actually tabulate what the kids are doing at that time. It takes away human error, which means it's going to, make TJJD happy, but more importantly, it's going to keep us out of courtrooms. But the piping system that was originally purchased was a basic system, and it did us no good, especially if we have kids that are in the back that are suicidal. So the upgrade on the piping system is very much necessary because it keeps an accurate record of what they're doing at all times. So it's more of a protection for my Harrison County than it is for anything else. So I presented that at the board meeting and asked for that to be established, and it was granted. But I just want to let y'all know kind of what we're doing out there.
So just so these guys, and I didn't quite understand that when you first told me about it, and I think I asked these questions in that board meeting. It's the piping system you're talking about. When I think of piping, I'm thinking of plumbing or
Right.
something else.
Yeah.
But what it actually is like an electronic record keeper.
Yes.
And so you go by a room, y'all have to go by every
15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yes.
And rather than filling out a piece of paper and then having to put it in the computer
Right.
or whatever, you can record that kid was asleep at
Yes.
7:15. This kid was brushing his teeth, whatever.
Yes.
And so it makes it real easy. It's all electronically recorded, so.
Yes.
It's just,
Basically the same as they do at the main jail.
I'm not sure, I didn't know they did that over there.
Right. Yeah.
But I know, you're right, I know they have to go by so often
Right.
and record and document all that, and so that's what piping. I
Yes,
didn't
I'm
quite
sorry.
get that, but-
My dad, I raised an oilfield brat, so I understand. I think about tripping pipe when we're talking about it. So
Well, to me, this would be a major positive for the county on the whole, because now you've got documentation that
Yes.
the rounds were made. And, I mean, it's not like they can sit there and not make the rounds.
Like that.
yes,
Is there a scan at each sale that they do that
There is.
represents to a particular number of sales?
there is. The only thing that hasn't been done is APOD hasn't been fully piped in yet. And the reason that we haven't is that's the residential side, and we're not ready to open that yet. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We added community service insurance. You had insurance that protected your buildings but did not protect the kids. So if we're not in a building, there's obviously a liability if they get hurt on the side of the road while they're watching me pick up trash. We added that community service insurance to cover all of our court-ordered volunteers while they're actually doing community service with us. That's just another added bonus to making sure that the liability is covered as far as the county's concerned.
Did you do that through TAC?
I did not, and unfortunately, I haven't had enough time to call TAC to see if that's offered. We did it through a business named SEMA, and I have used SEMA for 24 years. I've not had a problem, but I will be looking to see if TAC offers that. We went back to paper files. Everything was electronic, and it was a hot mess. I'm going to have some more filing cabinets due to the fact that all of them were taken out of the building. But paper files are a necessity when it comes to record keeping and TJJD standard.
So they won't take electronic files, they also want a hard copy?
I want the hard copy.
You want, okay.
And the reason that I tell you that is because everything that I do is usually in the field. Everything that my probation officers now are doing is usually in the field. If we have a kid and we go on a home visit and that child pops positive on a urinalysis, or has problems at school, or is creating a discipline problem at school, my people are going to be there, but they can take that file with them, sit it in the side of the car, and then that way if they have to arrest them on site, or if we have to call a deputy to come and get them and take them straight to the courthouse, I've got that file. I don't have to run back to the office to look in a box.
And that hard copy might have something on it that's not on the electronic file.
Exactly. And then, we've come into situations in the past where, custody was an issue. I've got the custody paperwork in that paper
Right.
file. And I can prove to the judge that this is his mother, this is his father, or it's not his father.
Right.
So, we've cut down on overtime. That was a big concern of mine when I came in. I couldn't understand why we were getting so much overtime. We've cut down on overtime. In fact, in the budget, I think I cut it by $38,000. And so what we're doing is my shift leads are coming in an hour later. That way they have 1 hour after their shift, or after everybody's shift ends, to do their paperwork. And I am authorizing overtime now. That's it. If I don't authorize it, then we'll make some kind of concession for you to leave 15 minutes early or 45 minutes early. But this 15 minutes here and 45 minutes here doesn't sound like a big deal until you have 34 employees that are doing it. The funding formula, which I kind of discussed, that's going to generate some more money for us. And it may not be next year, but it will be probably in the next legislative session 2 years from now. Also, there's going to be some grant opportunities that I'm going to be able to go for. And I'm going to go for every grant that I possibly can, just to offset this cost. There's some new programs that we want to implement that Harrison County doesn't have. And one of those is going to be the prevention and intervention program to kind of shoot to range to get my 10 to 13-year-olds. COVID did us no favors with that age group. They're very angry and they are not socially adjusted. So that's a statewide problem. I can show you the data if you want to see on that, but that's kind of the target age for our prevention and intervention program. With the intention of residential treatment opening back up, I do have 2 JSO spots. I'll have a probation officer spot open, but right now I have, I think it's a case aide or an admin spot. I had discussed a particular person entering into that spot, but she's since then been employed at a rate that I'm not going to be able to pay her. So we are going to need a program coordinator to look at our curriculum and to get that kind of off the ground as far as the residential services. So let's talk about the residential side of what we're doing. So I sought the help of TJJD, and we're going to discuss it. I'm going to be going next week to post-legislative and budget conference. The residential is very special to me because I just don't want to do it because we're doing it. I want to put purpose behind it. And the way that it was put down on a piece of paper before I took over, it makes no sense. There is no purpose. It's just kind of a catch-all. So we discussed with TJJD what the underserved population group was. And of course, it's the younger ages, it's violent offenders. I do not want violent offenders, and it's sex offenders. We don't have enough people in this area to serve the sex offenders at a minimal cost. So I am looking at the residential program actually being opened up to 10 to 15-year-olds. We would be the first in our region to service young children, but we would only be one of 3 in the state of Texas that would service young children. And of those, the 10 to 12-year-old group is severely underserviced. So with that being said, it could generate more money because we would be considered specialized. And anytime you put specialized in the state of Texas, it generates more money. So we would be looking, right now we're charging $225 for residential placement. We can get in upwards of $310 a day. Do you have any questions about residential? Because it's kind of a gray area.
What's the definition of the residential?
Residential is long-term. So it'll be whatever we decide that that child needs upon intake. So with the state generating more money for us to pay for placements, they want us to try placement before we go to Texas Juvenile Justice Division Division or Department Institution Division. So with that, at $310 a day times 9 to 12 months is a lot of money, and that's how we're going to get it back on the post-adjudicated side, which is the residential side.
I'm hoping that's the answer to the question I was gonna ask is how long is a long-term residential?
I can tell you there is a need for short-term stays, which would be 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. I'm not a short-term person, so it'll be 9 months to a year.
Okay.
And then, which number 9 is non-existent because Becky is awesome and she keeps everything that I need, and I have to tell you that that is a blessing in itself because to have a good auditor, y'all are blessed. We're offering the counties an opportunity to lease beds. So I have one county, Bowie County, who is talking to their judges right now about leasing beds. So what they'll do is they'll pay us $191,420 on September 1st for 3 beds that are guaranteed. So she calls me at 2 o'clock in the morning. She can have a bed as long as she doesn't have 3 there already. They're getting tired of going to Lubbock and Garza County with Bowie County kids, and so we felt like that it would be an opportunity for us to not only generate money up front, but it would be an opportunity for us to reach out to other counties and say we're offering this. And there is a potential that she could have more beds. I just wanted to give everybody in the state an opportunity to lease that bed. They did it about 20 years ago in Hunt County, and it was very beneficial for their county. Juvenile board gave the blessing, and so right now they are the only county that is looking at it, but I feel like there's going to be more counties that come on down. They just have to have their board meetings.
How many do you reach out to, or do y'all have a site that y'all can put it on where they can see who's
Well,
got it?
when I went to the Chiefs meeting, which is the day that you stopped by, I told everybody at the Chiefs meeting,
okay.
which is the Northeast Texas region. I'm going to post legislative and budget next week, and I will offer it to everybody else in the state.
How many beds could you lease?
That's kind of dependent, and the reason that it's dependent is because I never know how many Harrison County kids I'm going to have. Right now, the goal is 6. I feel like that we can go well above that goal. I'm going to say we could probably do 12.
Would this be in the new wing that was renovated?
Yes, sir. And they should be done with all of the renovations at the end of August. We all had a meeting, and Mr. Sloan kind of said that they would be done probably by the end of August.
Depending on how well this program is implemented with the beds and everything, do you see in the future of maybe expanding? Okay.
I'm going to tell you, my whole world has been on fire since I took over, and it just seems like that there's a lot of issues and a lot of problems. Now, we've corrected some of them, But I've got to get staff to a point, not only that are they comfortable with the rules, they know the rules. Rules have been lacking. And so we are trying to train, but to train 3 different, staff times is a little bit difficult. So that's where my facility administrator's coming in. She's doing a great job. Everybody out there's doing a great job. And I'm going to tell you that if it wasn't for the people out there, I probably would have ducked my tail and ran on home. They deserve everything that I can possibly give them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
We
you.
appreciate that.
Well, that's good. So we can charge $175 a day rate. What's your cost? You have the number?
I don't. And the reason that I don't is because I don't,
Oh, we're making money on this, so that 190, we're netting something, that 190,
Yes.
191,000.
yes.
It's cost far less than $175.
Yes. Yeah. So if we can open that up and I get new contracts, which I have no doubt because I haven't talked to several of my chief friends, and I'll see them next week. But I have no doubt that we'll have more contract regs coming on in.
And up to 12, potentially.
I
That's good.
potentially, yeah, because I've got 24 beds, so that's leaving
That's a
12
big
beds.
number. That's a big number. 12, that's a big number.
Yeah, yeah. So from the business aspect of it, it makes sense.
700,000.
So, and then renovation should be complete. Everything is going really well. I know that it's been a while since y'all have had a transparency, but that's all I give. So if we have problems, I'm going to tell you there's problems. If there's not any problems, I'm going to tell you there's not any problems. But I'm telling you, with the amount of leadership that's in this county, y'all are very blessed. Any other questions, Mr. Hatfield?
No, I just want to thank you for, I am impressed.
Yeah, how long have you been, I'm sorry, I'm doing too, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's
How
fine.
long have you been in this role?
May 5th.
Okay.
No, I like what I'm hearing from you.
Good, because that's my job.
We did a good job. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I noticed that on the overtime line item, you said maybe 30, but you cut it in 24, 25 was 80,000, and you're requesting 20,000.
Yes, sir.
So it's $60,000.
If you pay them better, they'll want to come to work.
Right.
We have a revolving door because the pay is so low. In fact, I have a salary study that was done by TJJD, and it was several years ago, that we are the lowest paid in the state of Texas. From chief to JSO, we are the lowest paid. So with that $210,000, that's going to make a big difference in the morale in my building. And I will tell you that Becky's wonderful, and the reason that she's wonderful is because of we had some state allocated salary adjustment money that was not going to be used, and Judge Black is not a fan of sending money back to the state. Obviously, I'm not either. So she is actually working right now on getting my employees that bonus, which is what it is, and that is going to do wonders for morale out there also. You have really good people out there that have done a lot for children, and they deserve to be the champions that they are.
So basically what you're asking for on the salary and the detention is about 61,000, but yet you're saving 60,000 on overtime, so it's really a wash.
Yes, it's a wash, but I have to have that line item created, but you're gonna get the money back on the residential.
Right, yeah,
And then
right.
I've gotta have a little bit of money for community service and the programs end of it. Sex offender counseling wasn't in there. You're not offering that. That state mandated we have to give it to them. It's a big difference. 85% is the big difference. If you give a child who is a sex offender treatment and let them go into adulthood, 85% they're less likely to reoffend. So we have to have that provided. I mean, that's just, if we're going to create a safe community, we have to provide that. And it's expensive.
What's the new line item that you're requesting that you want to add? I heard you say something about you needed to add some
Yes,
different
sir.
line items. Is there a total of what you're requesting that's actual would be new money?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. With the $210,000, that's going to offset the price of the salaries. The only thing that the only thing that I'm asking is for that new line item of $50,000 to be put in there, but you're getting it back.
Right. In this total, and I'll hush after this question, but I look down at the 24-25 and it shows about little over 3.3 million.
Yes, sir.
In that number, is that the 1.3 or 1.4 that was allocated in this past budget for the improvements? Is that number in there?
That's my understanding, yes, sir.
Becky, do you know?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, I don't see it when I look down the,
There's that 1.5 on the repairs and maintenance,
Right.
three quarters of the way down.
there it is, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, I see it. I was looking at it in the wrong
Looks like
column.
it usually should be about 250,000, but it's at 1.5 million, so
Okay.
that's about the 1.3 you're thinking.
And I know everything's a mess on my sheet, and it won't be that way next year, but we're in a legislative session, and I didn't have my numbers, so I just kind of wanted
Understand.
to do scenarios.
We're in the same problem. So,
I just have one other question. You mentioned about bonus for morale. Are we allowed to call it a bonus? Okay, but you'll work that out.
It's really, honestly, it's not a bonus, it's what's owed to them.
Right, okay.
Because that money is already earmarked from the state, that says that that's all it can be used for.
Okay.
So what we did is we took the remaining amount, and then we took how many employees are qualified, divided it by that number, and that's what everybody's gonna get. That's what my employees understand, is that it's a bonus. But it's
it
money
can't
that
be
was
called
already,
that though.
It's a salary adjustment.
adjustment,
Salary
yeah,
adjustment, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an adjustment grant. If y'all remember earlier this year, we had to refund $20,000 to the state for juvenile because we did not do this last year in '24. So we had to refund for the salary adjustment that we got in '24, $20,000. And this is going to prevent us from having it, because we would have had to, because we got more, we got 144,000 this year. And so.
It's a salary adjustment?
So they know that we're working, so they give us $70,000 more. So, what we're doing is working. I just need a little grace and I really need a little time, but it's going that way. It's doing well.
You got, you're under control as far as, let's don't send no money back.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah,
Yeah, because last year that hurt.
yeah, I
Having
can't,
to send money
I won't
back.
send them a dollar back.
And I will tell you that the previous county that I was out, I did have to send back $46,000, because, everybody drug their feet on getting a generator, and that affected the funding this year.
Sound like you got it under control.
Any questions? All right, thank y'all for your time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
They got the generators in place out there, didn't they?
I know they were working on it if they haven't. You can ask her right quick.
Are the generators in place out there and up and running?
Yes, sir, it'll be fenced in, next week.
Is that part of the Sloan project?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
Tab number 5 in your book is maintenance. Good morning, Brad.
Morning.
I was gonna let y'all know, I've been out with Melody several times, visiting with her and doing things for her. She is doing an outstanding job out there.
Hey, I heard her mention she needed some filing cabinets. Surely we probably got some spare somewhere.
Maybe.
We used to have a bunch, but I think they might have accessed them when we redid the extension office. I think they were stored out there in it. Yeah, I think.
Well, I found her a couple here the other day, we could to her. We'll see if we can find her some more. But anyway, I'm starting right here. And the first thing I'm asking for is a 5% raise across the board for everybody. You know, I know you guys have to have a tough job and trying to get us anything, but anything you do, we'll actually be happy with. But I think 5% would be reasonable. My next increase that I'm asking for is a $300 increase in my office supplies. I believe the office supplies from $1,200 to $1,500. I'm running kind of short on there already this year. The next increase is from $6,000 to $8,000 in my grease and gasoline. I'm adding another vehicle to my hopefully adding another vehicle to my fleet this year, and I'll be needing that money. Okay, auto maintenance again, because of auto maintenance, I'm asking for a $500 increase from $2,500 to $3,000 for the same reason. My parts and repairs, how many times, Ms. Baker, have you had to add to my parts and repairs this year?
3 or 4 times, and
That's-
we just added another 14,000 on Tuesday, and it's almost gone.
And I bought I bought a refrigerator the other day, replaced a hot water heater at the airport. I've got $4,000 I'm spending on it.
Now, that airport stuff ought to come out of the airport fund, not your fund.
Okay,
That's where it ought to.
well, I'll remember that next time.
Yeah, you get that fixed for you. That'll help a little
I'll see
bit.
what check for that.
Hey, I wanna back up to your, well, I guess, your auto maintenance and your grease and gas, and you're adding
Okay.
another vehicle.
Yes, sir.
And I know that some of your employees are getting paid a travel allowance to use their own vehicles, but if we're,
Well, sometimes they still use their own vehicles.
well, they shouldn't be. We're either gonna issue them one.
Yes, sir.
And they have a car, you don't get both.
Right, okay.
So, you need to, I guess, decide if you want them to use their
Well,
own
this
vehicles.
new vehicle will help out a lot, because sometimes they still have to use their own vehicle. If I get this one here, I can pretty much eliminate that.
Okay.
What I would think though, if we add another vehicle and there comes a time, what's the reimbursement, 70 cents or whatever, then, let's pay mileage instead of just an automatic
Yeah, yes.
in your check for use of it monthly. I mean, I'm like the judge, I don't think they ever should, but I know that there's gonna be cases where sometimes you can't help it. But I don't have a problem with reimbursing them at the going rate for them to turn in a mileage sheet and us, it's not fair to them, but,
Right.
so, but I'm like the judge, I don't think we ought to automatically pay them every payday a certain set allowance if this is gonna deter a big part of it. I know there's gonna be cases where you can't help it, something's gonna snap you, but
Adding a new vehicle is really gonna help me out a lot, because I've got a couple people that they kinda work together, they're doubled up in the vehicle.
Right.
But, if I can get one more, it's really gonna help me out a bunch.
okay.
We'll get-
How
we'll
many,
get this
how many
short.
do you have in your fleet already?
I've got 3 for my maintenance guys, and then my cleaning ladies have one,
Okay.
so. But anyway, I'm, asking from $109,811 just to $150,000 in my parts and repairs. Like I say, Miss Becky's, she's added to it several times. The cost of living, or cost of everything has just went up tremendously, and we've had quite a bit of things we've been doing. So, next thing, I guess we're going to the auto lease, and I'm gonna switch straight over to that page here. I'm replacing unit 11574. And, the monthly cost of that unit is $1,120. I guess we want the yearly cost of $13,440. And then, the unit we're turning in, we're gonna have to pay $1,716.65. So we need a budget for that. Vehicle 12286, need to budget $11,376 for that one. And unit number 13423, need to budget $12,641 for that one. And we're gonna replace a county-owned unit, that's what I'm wanting to replace now. With it says monthly, but it's gonna be a yearly lease of $10,620, for a total of $57,317 for no vehicles.
And that'll give you 4.
Yes, sir. That'll give me 4. And then I've
Least,
leased, yeah.
Yeah, and then you also
Four
have
leased.
the old Constable 3 and the old
Yeah,
Constable 4 truck.
But I think they're fixing to get sold.
Not Constable 3 and Constable 4 now,
Okay.
because those are the ones that we transferred from the constable, so we wouldn't have to buy one for the ladies to use.
we bought those constable trucks
In
originally
19,
in 19.
when, the new constables came into office.
Okay.
Well, I was under the impression they were getting sold. If they're not getting sold,
Well, they,
this.
they're four-door trucks too, aren't they? Did we buy,
They're
aren't
those
they?
little kind of half.
Cab and half deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
but will they work for your
Yes,
maintenance crew?
Yes, sir, sure will. And
Precinct.
we can eliminate this replacement for,
And precinct one just, Constable one just turned in his vehicle that was purchased, because when Hickey, Weatherall, and Griffin came into office, we bought all three of them new vehicles. And now, this year, they're just now going to the lease program. So we transferred Constable three and Constable four trucks, owned trucks, to maintenance, and we're selling the one that he has identified here, the 7753, along with a maintenance truck that has, I think it's a 2007.
it's just an old gray truck.
It's an old vehicle, so we are selling two maintenance vehicles.
Would you spend a little time with Becky and go look at those old constable
Well,
trucks? I don't
well,
wanna keep them.
one of them we're driving right now because the old 77333, it's not even drivable anymore, so.
But there's a possibility that there might be
And if
two
it-
more of the constables that,
If we're gonna keep this truck though, if the county's, it's a fine truck.
Well, and that's what I want you to make sure, and that I don't wanna get an old truck that we're gonna have to start replacing a bunch of stuff and fixing it up. when we-
I think it's got a couple of years in it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, y'all can talk about that
As
and
long
then
as we're-
adjust your budget, and
Yes,
you just let us know.
Okay.
I don't mind getting the enterprise, I mean, that thing, the fleet management part of it will work well over time. What doesn't work good is we're taking an old truck and having to replace the
We're putting a lot of money in it,
transmission,
yes.
and rear end.
air
and
conditioning.
whatever.
Right,
Air conditioning, yeah.
right. And what it is,
You make sure you're comfortable with those.
you know, the guy, Roy, the guy that I kind of take care of the jails and everything, he was in that old truck and it started getting bad and, you know, and he's a really good mechanic. He's done some work on it himself, you know, at home, you know, but it's in really bad shape.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, we put him in a constable truck that I thought was gonna get sold real soon, but if not, we're good.
So you may not need these,
That one,
just one.
Brad, Precinct One Constable Hickey's truck's in really good shape. I drove it back from Hallsville.
yes, sir.
And I rode over there with him. It's been well maintained and it's got, I think, about 80,000 miles on it.
Is that the one,
That's not one of the ones you're driving
Okay.
right now, because you're driving.
No,
either
it's
three or
sitting out in the
four.
sheriff's lot, yeah.
Okay.
It's a great truck, Chevrolet truck out there, still got good tires on it, so
I will
take a
do
look at that one, see what you think, but.
I will do that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Constable Hickey said if it came up in a sale, that he was probably gonna buy it for his granddaughter if it rolled around.
Yes, sir.
So that's what he thought about it, so
Right.
take a look at that one.
I will do that. Next thing I said, I need a new computer in my office. They come and confiscated one the other day because they said it was too old to even work with the program we have. So, next here I have what I'm asking for, a permanent improvement. I'm asking for $25,000 to finish remodeling the DA's office. You know, I went in there and done the DA's office himself. Well, they're begging me to remodel the rest of it. So, and I think I can do that fairly reasonable. It's quite a bit to do, but I think $25,000 will cover it. Most of that's gonna be flooring. We'll do all the painting and, you know, and stuff like that, so, but that won't be bad. Where I poured the new concrete out in front of the, main doors of the courthouse, I'm wanting to extend that awning all the way up to where that jail wall is. You know, we have people come for jury duty or whatever and everything, if it's raining or whatever, or even just sitting out in the sun. You know, I'd like to extend that awning out to where they can get out of the weather. So,
You going to 27.5,
I got a bid on that.
okay.
And yes, sir. With $27.5 for that. Replace that main breaker panel, $23,500. That's that one I had issues with several weeks ago down in the basement down there. And that's, you know, that's a pretty big job. Replace the flooring in the Hallsville sub courthouse. I'm asking $10,000 for that. And that's, you know, we've done some last year, but this is back in the offices, back in there. Mr. Greer's asking me for that. I'm asking $50,000 to do repairs in the main courthouse. And what it is, I've got some, and I'm gonna have to farm it out, but it's a bunch of plumbing in there. I've got some really bad drainage issues, some rotten pipes, and I got in there and looked the other day. I was gonna, maybe have my guys do it. But you get up in there and it looks like a Christmas tree, coming off limbs everywhere. And it's gonna be a pretty big job just to do that. It ain't gonna be 50,000, but
It might be.
I've got other things to do too.
Brad, would you fix the clock?
I didn't realize is it off again
The clock over here,
at the courthouse?
yeah,
I will look at it.
please.
I very seldom even look at that. I apologize to you. Okay, I'm asking for $18,000 to remodel the restrooms at the airports.
That'll come out of the airport fund, so
Okay.
you don't have to put that in your permanent improvement,
Okay.
but that's great.
So, how much money goes in the airport fund? I didn't know.
Well, you let me know, I mean, if you want 18,000, we can budget that over there to do both of those bathrooms.
Yes, sir. They need it bad.
That's the ones inside the terminal,
Correct.
both the men's rooms, okay.
Yes, sir. So, we can move that over there. That will be great. I'm wanting to build, 2 new buildings. It's a total of, gonna be a total of $6,000, $3,000 each. I need one, each dump site in Jonesville and Harlton. Now, I've been trying to do at least one every year. Well, these 2 are pretty bad. I think we can knock them both out.
You can do those for $3,000?
That's
I'll
what
build them
I,
myself. Yes, sir.
that's what I was just looking at.
All right, this next one here is, if we don't do anything else, we need to do this. I know some of y'all may be aware of the Annex L roof out there. We've made repairs on it countless of times. I know we spent well over $100,000 on people like Curtis McKinley coming in trying to make repairs, Well, I had PMR to come over and take a look at it, and the consultant, I can't remember his name. They gave me their recommendation, and I trust them. What they want to do is come in and kind of do like they did over here, but they're gonna lay styrofoam insulation in it and make it flat across there instead of having the ribs and everything, and then overlay it with that vinyl. The total cost of that's gonna be $550,000.
Was that PMR's quote?
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, Scott Franklin,
Scott, that's right.
What-
but he worked at PMR to get this number. Yes.
So they're just gonna lay styrofoam the thickness of the
Yeah,
the
you have,
rib,
yes, sir. Thick
just to
and-
make it smooth.
And make it smooth. No, it's a pitched roof,
Right.
but
Is there any penetration? There's no air conditioners on top of it, is it?
no air conditioning.
Only
but-
thing is the vent hood.
And the skylights, and then the vent pipes, and
How many skylights are in it?
2,
What do they serve?
the rec yard, they gotta have them. I know.
I agree, and I appreciate you putting that on here. We were hoping to get it done with
Well,
all the other roof repairs and what have you.
But we're at budget time, and now's, if y'all can do it, now's the time to do it.
Did you tell me that they were setting pop-up tents in places when they're,
They do it at the booking areas, yes,
that we can't have that? Well, let me ask you a
Well, we
question. If it's that big a problem, has it showed up on our jail report
yes, sir. Yeah, yes,
or inspection?
it has, yes, it sure has. And of course, they house out-of-state, not out-of-state, but out-of-county prisoners. They house federal inmates, and and I think we want to continue to do that. We need to make an improvement.
What's the stage time if, I know what budget doesn't come out till October 1, but
I'd have to get back with you on all that. I've got it all over there, but
I'd like to see us get it done before winter time.
yes. Might be able to do
That
something
should
with
be, is a labor-intensive project is what, replacing the sheets, if they're just gonna lay and then put that
Right.
membrane.
I'd say it's still gonna probably take them a good month.
Yeah, but
It's a
still,
big roof,
yeah, oh, yeah.
but they will send a crew over though. I mean,
What will they do
they'll
with the
have-
valleys that's in there now? Is it a slow enough pitch that they're not gonna have to? I mean, they got to have those valley points in that roof where they join. How are they gonna cover that
Well-
with membrane and still leave drainage?
It's got a pretty good pitch on the roof.
But hey,
Oh, yes.
I was up there with my knuckles years ago, but I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a pretty good pitch on the roof, but they're gonna fill it with that styrofoam and then overlay it with that vinyl. you know. and
So
that's
there'll
the-
still be those points where they all converge down, that'll still stay.
Yes.
I mean, it's not gonna just, where the roof's gonna be picked up, you still gonna have this,
Right.
okay.
As soon as if we're able to put this in the budget and it passes, the next day, I appreciate you getting them lined up and.
Well, and that's what I say, as soon as I know it passes, as a matter of fact, when I leave here, I'm gonna tell them to just be prepared.
We still can't, it'd be nice if somehow we could figure out how to stage it, and I know it's gonna be a payment out of this year because of material costs to get it staged, but I'd like the judge, if there's some way we can figure out how to get them hooked up, and on September the 2nd, they're here ready to start doing it.
Let me talk with them and see.
Because, you know, I don't know how that, because I know there's a lot of laws, Becky won't let us, whatever we encumber would have to come out of a non-budgeted item this year, but if there's some way that y'all can get with them and figure out how, I don't want us to wait till September 1 and then start trying to book it, and then it's November before they can get here, if there's any way.
Is it when they start the job, Ms. Baker, or finish it? Okay.
It depends on what the contract is.
Most of them won't half of it up front,
Right.
material costs, you
Right,
know, so that's
why I
the
said
big
it depends
problem,
on the
yeah.
contract.
Yeah.
Because you're talking 275,000, you know.
I am looking at the fund balance and permanent improvements, and so far this year, as of the end, or as of last commissioner's report, we have a $1.2 million.
Oh, what, we're in, okay. We could move forward then and go ahead and get it booked up and,
So we could do, we do a budget amendment to take it out of fund balance and pay for that now?
Yes.
Well, do we wanna take a vote on this?
I'd say call them today and tell them to book it and get started, what I'd say in this form and get it done.
There's no need for us to wait any longer.
Let me ask, so how many quotes did you get on that?
Well, that's the only quote I've got on this of what they do. It's the same company, PMR, we had over here, and we had a consultant that come in, and he's the one that suggested them, because they really, really are good.
So,
I would think,
And they're on a co-op, correct?
Yes, they're on a
So we
co-op.
don't have to-
we don't have to.
Right.
It never hurts to get more bids.
Don't.
Let me just tell you this though, TAC, our insurance company, says they use this group exclusively
Yes.
because their work is great. They're not coming back out, because the insurance, and we had some big insurance claims a year ago.
Over $1 million, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and then they said, we don't have to call them back and pay them more to fix something that they, didn't get done the first time. So they're real happy with them across the state.
And it's hard to
We've
find
had 'em-
somebody that actually compare apples to apples on some of this, on
Yeah.
what they do here.
And we've had them fix virtually every roof we have around
Yes.
here right downtown, and it's been all good. I'm not opposed to getting more quotes. I think that's smart. But I just wanted you to know.
yeah, I
the
mean,
background.
if the insurance company has another company that they feel comfortable
Well,
with
this,
too.
this is the only ones that they've ever even recommended before. That,
I
with
would
me.
recommend just calling them and asking, hey, just to,
Cover yourself.
Yeah.
just to say,
Oh,
just, or if we get asked,
Yeah.
Right, and I will do that.
and just, ask the insurance company who is, who's PMR's, who's good as well.
Correct.
And get them to quote it, and then we're covered.
I can do that.
But, I can go ahead and do that today, get that coming.
And I'll tell you
get
that,
somebody to look at it.
My only problem with the membrane, I don't like the membrane,
Yeah.
and I know it works in specific cases, but you're talking about a ton of surface area that's up there now.
Yes, sir.
Are they talking about a white?
it'll be white, yes, sir.
And there's really not gonna
60
be much
mil thick.
walking on it, is
Well,
there?
that's true, but I'm just, there's 90% of the schools in East Texas have got membrane roofs on them, or either the old rock and tar,
Right.
the older ones, but I've seen a lot of issues with membrane roof, especially if there's traffic on it, because over time, with it doing this, what ends up happening, they use those big screws to screw that styrofoam down in place, and over time, with that constant, those screws start backing out.
Outside, yes.
And then when somebody walks across there and steps on it, guess what you got? You
Right.
got that screw sticking up at that
Well,
far
we
above
had that
that
happen
membrane.
originally on
Yeah,
the jail over here.
yeah. And I mean, if there's not a lot of traffic, I would ask that anywhere there's a vent hood or a piece of equipment that y'all might have to get up and work on, that they double up and make a apron around it, so if you have to get up and work on it, you guys stand on
I've actually got the old specs.
Okay,
and it's-
okay.
It's in there, and I
a,
can
and
send
that
you
cuts down a lot
Yes, sir.
of problems. We're lucky we don't have air conditioners up there, cause all the schools that's got it have rooftop air
Well,
conditioners.
well, I will send the specs to each one of y'all.
Okay, well,
And
you,
all
hey,
that
if
is
you're,
in there.
but like I said,
Real quick question, you said vinyl, is that considered TPO?
I don't know if it's TPO, I don't,
Okay.
I won't really know.
Well,
but it's-
when you send the spec, or if you do send the spec.
yeah, send them.
I will send them to you, I will send them to you.
Okay.
And that's on the old bid, he's supposed, he, quoted me the new bid over the phone, which is $150, the old bid was, it's right at a year old, and it was quite a bit less. It's about $30,000-$40,000 less. So,
Well, we have you here, and I think I will speak for everybody up here. We appreciate the work that our maintenance department.
well, I thank y'all
Since
very
you
much.
have been in this position, you have saved us countless,
Well,
dollars.
Saved and fixed up.
And that's right, and then that third, fourth courtroom, state of the art.
well, we couldn't do nothing without you guys, you know.
Hey, well, we're glad
Y'all
to,
been great, everybody appreciates you.
We're here to
we
support.
appreciate y'all, because I know, I'm like Jeff, I can't echo the sentiment
right,
enough,
can't
it's
say
what
enough.
we didn't have to,
It's 5-0. Brad, I got just one quick question, just wanna rewind back to that roof. It's been years since I've been up on that roof, but that's a lot of piping,
It is.
It's a real busy roof.
Yes.
Is there a catwalk, is there a grate or something to where there's serviceable
They're
stuff?
they're gonna put one in.
Okay,
Yeah, they're gonna have a walking area to get the stuff that needs to be serviced.
yeah, but
There's
I
not a
mean,
there's not a whole lot up there that needs to be, the only time we really have to go up there is when, is to try to repair a leak.
right.
so this should take that 90% of the traffic off of it if
Yes.
we get it fixed.
That's all we even go up there for, is trying to repair a leak.
I had no
You know,
idea it was that
And I,
busy.
you know, right after they built the jail, I mean, it wasn't a year old, I wasn't even here yet, but they was telling me that Mark Knuckles had called Curtis McKinley out for a leak. And they come out there and they repatched some seams and never did fix the leak. Every time it rained, they'd call them back. And I think it was like $50-something thousand. They would call them back, had a year warranty, they would come out there and work on it. Next time it rained, they'd call them back again. Well, I got here right after the year was up. I called them back, they come and looked at it, sent me another bid for another $50,000. You know, and what they're doing, they're coming in just trying to repair seams with the sun and all that, you know, and it
They're
just,
guessing.
it tears loose from the tin and just, you know.
But it might be leaking at that bank building over yonder and running to where, I mean, when you,
Yes.
on a
Yes.
metal roof
Some
like that,
places,
it's hard to pinpoint.
Yes. Now, personally, I had some major issues going on with leaks in the jail, right, you know, after that hailstorm and stuff, but they've done a good job on it.
The stuff they sprayed on that brick wall to waterproof it,
No,
that won't work on that roof?
that didn't happen.
Oh, it didn't stop that, okay, okay.
No, sir, it did not. So, we kinda got that issue stopped. I don't know if you've been up to dispatch. Finally figured out what it was.
That was a hot water heater that burst, wasn't it?
You know, the winch and all that goes out over the roof and all that, water blowing in that opening up there, was coming in and getting inside and running, down the wall right there. Well, we went up there and built a little cover and stopped that, so,
What's the purpose of that winch up there anyway?
to get stuff up. like
Well, I
that.
know, but every
Yeah.
time we've had work done over there, a crane comes in and sets up, don't they?
Yeah, but like us, small.
Oh, for smaller stuff, okay.
We have some small AC units and
Yeah,
stuff up
okay.
there, you know, water heaters. Anyway, yeah, that's
you,
it.
Brad.
Thank y'all very much, I appreciate
Appreciate you.
it. I will get y'all some information on that, and I will check on at least a couple more bids.
Send
Thank
him
you.
that specs and what he, tell you what it is.
We've got a,
Sure.
little recess. I think our next one is, the extension office, and they can't be here till 11, so 1 hour, back at 11. sorry to make y'all, you can leave your stuff over here if you want to. Hey,